So 561 Music now has a hotline. You can call us anytime at 561-203-9122 and ask us any questions you like. Some humorous ones or something about the guests we've had on the show, or questions about gear, or questions about the festival, or anything you like. It's, of course, 561-203-9122. We would love to hear from you. We did a pretty fun little message, so you get to hear that too. Even if you just call up to listen to me and Hector trying to do a good phone message, that's a good enough reason. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, so please get in touch. Hi guys, I know everyone says this on every YouTube channel, but please, could you like and subscribe to 561 Music Podcast? It's a local music podcast, and all we're trying to do is help local musicians get some exposure. So if you could like it, subscribe it, and also hit the notifications button on the episode, we would really, really appreciate it. And if you're feeling generous, you could subscribe to the Spotify as well. Thank you.
Take it by the scene, it's what we're doing. Come and check it out, it's what we're all about. 561 Music!
Welcome to 561 Music. I'm Hector, and there's no Ben today. Ben stood me up, and he is playing a gig tonight, but that's okay. He's allowed to do that. He's a musician. It's what he does. It's how he makes his living. So I had to give him a pass tonight and let him go do his thing. He's playing with Nico and Mick, I believe, over at Harry's Banana Farm. So those guys are going to have a good time tonight without me. So feel bad for me. Anyways, let's see. What did Killbillies do this weekend? We played up at Meg O'Malley's up in Melbourne, and that place is always fun. It's always packed. We always have a great time up there. So that was on Friday night, and then I had a quiet Saturday night. I didn't play. I believe the guys might have played in Jupiter on Saturday afternoon. I think that they played Saturday afternoon, and then that was it. I'm not sure if Ben had a solo gig or not this weekend, but that was it. It was kind of quiet. But speaking of Killbillies are in the running for an opening slot for a major band up in New York City in October, and the way you can help us is you can vote for us. You can go to any of our socials, Instagram, Facebook. It's at KillbilliesFL, and the links for the voting is there. You can vote once a day, every day, and it is completely free. We passed round 1. We got into the top 20 of our group. We passed round 2 and got into the top 15 of our group. So now we're trying to get down into the top 10, and I believe that closes out tomorrow. Right now we're currently 3rd. So thank you to those of you that have been voting. But keep voting. We really, really appreciate it, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So without further ado, let's introduce today's guest. We have Jasmine and Jaden from Maximum Friction. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Great.
Oh, come on, a little more enthusiasm, guys.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
We're great.
There
I'm
you
happy
go.
to be on the podcast.
Like Tony the Tiger. You guys got to be like, we're great. So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about Maximum Friction? How did the band originally get started, and how did we end up to where we are now with you guys?
Well, the band originally started with me, a few teachers, and, gradually got, kids closer to my age.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost our guitar player, and I met Jaden on the same day.
Where'd you lose him?
He decided to take a dive in the ocean.
Did you find
and, become a fish. He became a fish.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I mean, some people want to be fish. That's fair. All right.
On the same day, we found Jaden at a jam night, and I went over and I was like, kid.
On the same day that you lost
yes,
your guitar?
on the same day the guitar player said, nah.
If that's not fate, I don't know what is.
That's what I said, little angel wings come.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was at a jam night?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, that kid, he's my guitar player. And, then we also lost a drummer, he didn't become a fish. He became a bird. He flew away. And we've been on a hunt for drummers. So, drummers.
Yeah. So any drummers out there, they're looking for a drummer, a permanent drummer. So
yes. Always doing auditions, always fun. And we've always been a trio, except for, the occasional guest on stage, which I know we've had Rocky play with us a few times. And we went to Clearwater and we played with Hardwire, which is a Metallica tribute, and we went to OCC and Buddha Live with them, and their guest artist, I guess that's what you would call him.
Yeah.
He's a guitar player. Is Aiden Fisher, who played the Metallica solo on Stranger Things season 4. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's really awesome.
I had just like finished watching the whole thing, and like I finally made it to season 4. And I watched it, and I was like, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it was fun, and Trooper, finally hearing Trooper like played with us
Yeah,
with
I
a
know.
second guitar harmony
We did
was
harmonies,
cool.
Yes.
How
I
was
love
how was
harmonies.
how was the trip to Clearwater? Was that your first time you guys played out of town? Or?
No.
Maybe like second
Okay.
or
No,
third.
I think it was a third. Because
Okay.
we had gone down there once, which it wasn't for a gig. We kind of just showed up at the venue, and the band that was playing was like, y'all can come up on stage and play a song. So we did.
Okay.
And then we came back down there again for an actual gig. And then this would be our second time. And we are actually having another show there. I think it's in September 9th. I think it's September 9th.
Okay.
It's for, like, he calls himself Beanie Guy. It's for his birthday.
Nice.
So, September
Yeah.
babies.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, you guys play a lot. Killbillies plays a lot. You guys play a lot.
I mean, not really for, like, the summer. This summer, we've kind of been taking a chill pill, especially for August. We have no gigs in August.
Okay.
But in September, we have our first gig on September 2nd.
Okay.
So.
Now you guys were playing. I know you guys had what seemed like a standing gig at Matthews Brewery. Is that still like? Is that going to come back around? You guys going to play there a lot still, or not so much? Or
You want to guess where our first gig is on September 2nd?
Matthews Brewery, September 2nd. You heard it here first, folks. Maximum friction.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into how you guys individually got started with music. So Jasmine, I'll start with you. Like what got you into music, and what specifically? I know you've played a few different instruments and stuff. So what got you into music, and how did you end up on bass, and how did you end up with the genre of music that you guys play? Because I mean, let's be honest. As kids, I wouldn't expect you guys to be out there rocking melting faces off, but that's what you do. So how did you go from there to there?
Okay, so I started music at a really young age. I guess according to my parents, the first time that I showed signs of like being musically inclined, I guess that's what you'd call it, was 3. And instead of being one of those kids that like to hit their hands on the piano, do the whole
Yeah.
which I've seen my nieces do. I apparently was making like melodies, and if I messed them up, I'd go back and fix them. So.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how much of that's true, but that's what I've been told. So that's cool.
All right.
But when I was 4, I went to an elementary school of the arts, and they placed me in the strings program, and I've been playing violins ever since. And I got into the high school I wanted to go to, which is for violin. And at 7, I went to a music school that was like outside of and they kind of like the whole switching thing. I wanted to be a singer, but my dad was like, you're going to finish drums first. And one of the instruments they put me on, besides like being a singer, was bass. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And so I switched to a different music school. And, I started gradually gravitating towards bass. And about the age of 9, I asked to do a song playing bass. And then I said, I want to sing this too. And the person pretty much said, no, you can't, and you probably can't do it anyways. And I was like, okay, but I'm going to do it anyways just to show that I can do it. And I came in the next week, and I was like, see what I can do.
That's pretty awesome.
So, yeah, and I love the crowd's reaction of me playing and singing bass, so I think that's why I stuck with it. It made me really happy to see people be
There's a lot of famous singing bass players, that I always love seeing stuff like that, because you typically see that the guitarist is the front person or whatever, and so when I see people Geddy Lee and Sting and stuff like that, I love that. Like that's, to me, I just love seeing it, because it's not the norm. The norm is the guitar player singing.
He tries to steal the spotlight, I swear.
I try.
Yeah, do you? Do you sing?
I've
Do you sing in the
never
band too?
Successfully did it. Yeah.
Do you sing in the band too, or no?
I do the vocals and harmonies,
Okay.
backup vocals.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So how did you get started? Have you been always a guitarist, or did you start on something else first?
No. As Jasmine said, she's was musically driven at 3.
Okay.
Mine started at 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
One up to you.
Shocker. But mine probably wasn't as good. I gotta say that, because I would just play, and when I say play, I mean not actual instruments. I would go with the toys and just shred on those.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom said that I never actually had toys.
Yeah.
It was all music. And I remember I'd take pots and pans or boxes and I'd just beat on them as if it was a drum.
Okay.
And so after that I went to school, because right now I'm homeschooled. And there I was in the orchestra, and I played first chair on violin for 3 years.
Nice.
And then after that, I dropped out, and that's when I was in the band with Jasmine, and now I'm homeschooled. And a little before that, I'm remembering things as I go. For Christmas,
It's okay.
for Christmas, I got a game on my Wii system called Guitar Hero. And I'd play that for hours, all day and night. And after that, I got my first guitar. And
Now, did you ask for a guitar because you were playing Guitar
No, I
Hero,
think it
or
just
did they
came.
just? Okay.
Santa knew.
Wow.
Santa knew.
You know, I didn't even know what Guitar Hero was until I met you.
Yeah, I know. I had to teach you all
It was
the buttons
so
and
bad.
stuff.
I was like, what's that? And then when my school went to California, we went to, I don't even remember what the arcade was called, but me and my friends saw a Guitar Hero thing. It didn't even work, but we still grabbed the guitar and we were like, I have a picture.
Might
I
have been
don't
David
think I've
Buster's.
ever met a guitarist that was a guitarist first and then played Guitar Hero and was actually good at Guitar Hero, because they get confused. It's just buttons, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's way different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good at it, but that's because I suck at guitar, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. And so then you were playing guitar, and then you went to a jam night. Now, where was the jam night?
But instead, I gravitated more towards the drums. And from there, I'd start taking guitar lessons, and my parents told me to keep going, but I gave up for a small period of time.
Okay.
And then eventually, I think the next year, I went back to guitar, and it was starting to get easier. And then from the School of Rock shows, I started to gig with my teacher.
Okay.
And after that, I just started to go all over through jam nights and stuff.
Just different
And-
jam nights at different venues and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then Jasmine saw me on, I think it was Facebook. And then they're like, oh, this kid is a guitar player and we need one. So they went there, and she's like, I got you. You're my guitar player.
I got you.
You're mine now.
She claimed you, man.
Yes.
I was
She
like,
claimed you.
this one, I want that
She
one.
put a maximum friction sticker on your forehead. She was like, you are in.
Yeah.
You are in. All right,
Basically.
cool. Very cool, man. Very, very cool. So as far as things you guys have done, I know, Jasmine, you've done a few different things. Aside from Maximum Friction, you've done some collaboration stuff with people overseas,
Yes.
over the internet and stuff.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Okay, so I have had a few videos on YouTube and stuff on different people's pages, mine and all the other members and the bands and stuff like that. And my main friend, who I talk to her every so often. Sometimes it's hard because she lives in Thailand,
Sure.
and so it's like, are you up or are you not? But Petty from Thailand, she's a good friend of mine. She plays guitar, and she's I think a year younger than me.
Okay.
And she's really fun to communicate with. I was actually really surprised how good her English was. I don't know how she learned English, because I think, but she was like, oh yeah, because I knew she sung a lot of songs
Yeah.
in English. but she's really fun to
I
talk
think
to.
they teach. I think in a lot of foreign countries they teach English as a second language as a subject in school, just like we would
Kind of
take
like Spanish or French, yeah.
But I think in a lot of countries, and I don't know about there, but I think in a lot of countries it's like a mandatory subject, like science or math or anything else.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Spanish
cool.
and French are technically mandatory because you have to take it
Take a
2
language.
years.
You have to take 2 years
Yeah.
of a language. Yeah.
I don't know how well that like resonates with anybody
Yeah.
because like nobody ever remembers it.
But in terms of like, you know, speaking of like the languages and stuff, now, if I'm not mistaken, one of those videos that I saw you in, you were actually
no.
singing. You were singing in
Thai.
In Thai,
Yes, that took a lot of work. Like
I'm
I
sure it
sat down
did.
at a computer. We had to find like versions that were written in English letters so I could like break down sounds. And my friend Petty, she pretty much told me, she was like, singing is a lot easier than speaking it.
Sure.
And that what you're singing is good enough.
So were you? I mean, did you have any idea what you were singing?
There was a English translated version,
was,
so I
okay.
did know what I was saying.
Okay, all right.
It was about rainbows. Totally.
Oh, I mean, everybody loves rainbows, right? That's pretty awesome. So we usually ask the guests, and I know what the answer is going to be for you guys, but we usually ask the guests because they're old like me, and you know, they have other things going on in life. Do you still practice? So do you, like, aside from your shows or, you know, getting together as a band and practicing or anything like that, do you guys individually practice your instruments?
It's mandatory for me.
It is.
I go to a music school. They would not allow it.
Well, but you're practicing violin, right?
Yeah. It depends. I definitely sometimes, especially with school starting again, sometimes it gets hard to keep track of what I'm doing, especially because I play so many instruments. And now I'm not just practicing. It's not just bass and violin. It's bass, violin, vocals, any other extra lessons I'm taking. So like guitar or drums,
Yeah.
if I was going to take that, like it's everything combined. So sometimes when I go downstairs, it's like, well, what am I in the mood for today? So I might not practice an instrument every day,
Okay.
but I practice instruments every day.
You practice
if that
something.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And so when you practice, are you practicing like specific songs and things like that, or are you practicing techniques or scales or, you know, the traditional stuff?
Again, it definitely depends on the instrument.
Sure.
For violin, it's definitely, we're kind of trained to start with first like scales and something to warm you up, and then etudes and like stuff like that, and then do our pieces, and then do school pieces. And
Okay.
so sometimes, you know, with that, it's a little more structured. But with bass, I kind of go downstairs, I kind of just like start playing something,
Start jamming.
and then if I like play a song, you know, that's cool. And when I play bass, I try to incorporate my singing, but sometimes it's easier to break the two apart because I learn more from it.
Sure.
Because it's definitely easier to focus on one instrument if you're playing only one instrument.
Well, you can sing in the car, so you can practice that every day.
Yes.
Sing in the car, sing in the shower, sing wherever you want. Jaden, how about you? Do you practice?
Yes. Oh no, indeed.
I put you in the hot seat. It's okay to say no because I don't
No, I
practice.
was gonna say no because I don't like practice.
Okay.
I grab my guitar in my free time, rarely, and I'll just like noodle something that like I know I have to practice
Yeah.
for the next lesson, or there's a new song, and if there's anything new that I have to, I will.
Yeah.
But I already know like Master Puppets and all them. I just
Yeah.
have to refresh real quick, and that's
Right. So,
about
but
it.
if you're picking up your instrument and you're refreshing a song or you're learning a song to play with the band or a new song that you guys are doing, that's practicing. I mean, you are practicing.
Yes, but that's rare.
Oh, I
We
got
don't
you.
we don't really get new songs now because of the drummer situation.
I mean,
Well, we do
I-
have new songs.
I get that though. I get that. I mean,
They're easy, though.
I play the upright bass, so it's kind of hard sometimes. It's not like just hanging on a hook and I can just grab it, walk by and play it. You know, it's
yeah.
a
I have
it's
to,
a
like,
little
take it
harder.
out.
Yeah, it's pain. It's pain. So I don't do it nearly as often as I should. But yeah, so I get it. And believe it or not, there's a higher percentage than not of people that have come on this podcast and say that they don't practice. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're not alone, buddy.
I do have to say that, especially during the summer, like during school, I kind of get reminded of it because I play in orchestra and stuff like that.
Sure.
And now, apparently, there's a class that we take that not only is it like because it's called instrument techniques. Not only are we like getting told, our teacher pretty much told us like on a freshman invasion thing, he was like, this class is pretty much to teach you how to practice. So we're pretty much going to practice for that class. So it gives me a chance to get violin out of the way for a day or two, for like 2 to 3 days a week, so I can focus more on like our band.
Nice.
So
have you either one of you guys ever heard of Practice Warriors? So practicewarriors.com.
Guitar Hero.
check it out. It is a website. It's a local guy, and it's a website. It basically has lessons on there, not lessons on how to play your instruments, but lessons on how to practice, like how to create structures and routines to make it easier for you to fall into these practices. And you know, even if it's 5 minutes a day, it's still something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out if you guys get a chance. So I know you're homeschooled, Jaden, right?
Yeah.
And then you are going to Dreyfus this year?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
I'm
nice.
a freshman.
And my daughter's going to be a senior this year. She's in communications. So.
Oh my God. One of my best friends is a communications major. I love her.
She loves it there. Yeah, you're going to love it. She
I'm really
loves it there.
excited. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to go to this school since I was like in 3rd grade. So
Yeah, you're going to love it. When she started, she finished her last year at Bach during the whole COVID thing and all that stuff. So it was all online. And unfortunately, she started her freshman year and it was still the COVID thing. So she started like 3/4 of her freshman year were online. So she didn't have that whole freshman experience and everything. You're obviously going to get that. So it'll be a little different for you. But she loves the school, though. I mean, she absolutely loves the school. And I mean, my niece went there. My other niece went there. You know, my daughter's going there. Like, there's a lot of people I know in there. I think Rocky even went there.
yeah, Rocky went there. One of my older violin teachers went there. Actually, my current violin teacher went there. The director for the orchestra went there.
And then came back and started teaching.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I'm going to come here again. And, you know, for the whole COVID thing, my 6th grade year was that. That was my 6th grade year, which was, I think the hardest part about it for me is being such a social person was not being able to, like, really communicate with people, because if you didn't already know people, making new friends was really, really hard, because you were like not allowed to even hug somebody. Like it was like you couldn't get close enough to have a good conversation.
Oh, yeah,
so
no,
like,
of course.
so hard.
All right, so you guys had you guys have played for a while now. You guys have been playing covers, and I know you've been doing these bigger, longer gigs, several hours, that kind of thing, the typical cover gigs type thing. But you guys just recently started writing music, which is in part why we have you on the podcast. We really focus on original music. So you guys have a few songs, and you've been starting to record with Rocky, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. So how's that working out? Like, is that where are you guys recording? Is it like his home studio or?
No,
at my house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's where.
Except for the
we
vocals.
rehearse.
Except for the vocals, it was here. We
you did
recorded
those here?
Yes.
Oh,
I recorded the
right
vocals
here at Live
Oops.
Music Community.
My bad.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, why don't you guys tell me a little bit about the writing process? Like, when you guys are writing music, is it like one of you guys is coming up with the idea, and then the other guy, the other person's just playing it, or
Yes.
is it you guys collaborating, or are you kind of doing stuff together, or how's it working?
You talk.
It's like a mixture, because from what I got from it, me or Jasmine will be playing at the house, and then we'll come over for rehearsal. And after we rehearsal the songs, we'll be like, hey, I came up with this riff. And then we'll collaborate on that, and we can make it so we both agree, or maybe we already agree on that one idea.
Okay.
So technically, I'll be like, I play my guitar, I have my riff, and then Jasmine will just have vocals in her head and
Sure.
make it fit the melody.
So you're doing the lyrics.
I do the bass part and my lyrics. So
Okay.
the vocal melody usually falls on my bass part. Sometimes me and Jaden will collaborate on what, like, drums. Like, he usually does drums if we don't have a drummer in the room.
Okay.
Because he also plays drums. So when I'm
Right
at
on.
his house, I'll be like, hi, I have this beautiful bass line that I would love drums to go with. Could you please play something?
Nice.
And he's
Yeah.
like, sure.
I'll go through like 50 beats before she's happy. She'll be like, slow it down, fast it up, do double time. Add a kick drum there.
I mean, it's what the drummer's there for,
They're just a drummer.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he's
matter.
just a drummer. So yeah, that's really cool. You guys collaborate when you guys are writing stuff, which I love. There's a lot of bands that one person just writes everything and everybody just plays it. So I like that you guys are collaborating and stuff. And then when you're recording this stuff and you're collaborating and you've got stuff written and you're going to Rocky and Rocky's recording and stuff, does he have any input as well? Like from a producer type standpoint, is he kind of guiding you guys a little bit, or are you just kind of coming in there and going, nope, we have this, we got it,
For
just
me,
record, buddy?
He actually helped.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on like what we're doing. Like
Nice.
I know when we walked in, the song that is like almost like completely done is Frenemy, and when we did that, we kind of had an idea of what we were doing, but a lot of the add-ons to the song weren't with instruments, it was with vocals, so
Okay.
it was kind of me and Yaz who were here,
Yeah.
and we
Okay.
were like adding things to it,
All right.
which ended up being fabulous mistakes.
I love that it's Yaz and Rocky and it's LMC guys helping you guys out.
I know for Jaden though,
Yeah, for me,
for the other song was a lot of guitar things.
yeah, I had the harmonies on it, and I told Rocky, hey, I want to do like a bend here or something. And he'd help me out and say, okay, so you have that. Let's do one and move like 4 frets up. And it just made it like bigger.
Yeah, it's always nice to have someone else's ear, kind of.
Yeah.
When you're that close to it and stuff, you're doing it over and over and over again and going, yeah, I really like this riff, but there's just like, I just need something else. And then it's always nice to have that little extra input in there. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So another question that we typically ask our older guests is when they were young. So basically for you guys now, when you're young, did you have a supportive structure at home to to get you guys involved in music and stuff like that? And I'll start with you, Jasmine. And I know that the answer is yes, because your dad is like he's all into this.
Yes, he is. I've always kind of
Shout out to Doug.
my dad has always, both of my parents have always been really involved in like my music life. My mom, it's always kind of been funny because my mom usually takes me to the school things while my dad usually works with me for the band and stuff like that, but they always collaborate together. So it shows my mom will be selling merch and my dad will be running sound. And at the school events, my dad will always just be there and my mom would always be helping and stuff like that. So it's always fun. I definitely get my music taste from my dad. He kind of always throws things at me and I kind of grasp on and then learn more about it than he does. And so that's always fun.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. He gets pretty involved in all the music stuff, and I love it. I mean, I see him out there, helping run sound and bringing his sound system and stuff for some of the Long Live the Scene stuff that Rocky and Ricky. I get those guys confused. I don't know how, but I get them confused. That Ricky does. And so, and even at the 561 Music Fest, your dad came out and saved the day with lights for us on the second stage because there was no lights. So, so thank you, Doug. And how about you, Jaden? How you said you got a guitar for Christmas and stuff. So I have to assume your parents are pretty supportive of the music stuff.
Yes, they are now. Like since they've known, they've like spent like the whole half of the living room is my setup.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a drum set there, and because like in the layout of our house, you walk into the door.
It's a house, not an apartment or anything, right?
No, it's a house.
All right, yeah.
So you walk in, and to the left, where the living room is, you turn and you look left, and you see a drum set. All my cases of basses, guitars, whatever it is. There's what are those big speakers called?
Oh no. Not monitors. The no, I didn't even
Do you
on
know?
the spot.
Do you know what it's called?
Speakers?
Like the
we'll just
The
say
two, like,
speakers.
The two like monitors that like sit there, but like they're not monitors.
Just the front of house speakers. They're just.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mains.
those things.
Mains. Yeah. So
Thank you, Justin.
So we have one main on this side. We have my lovely carpet that I recently got for Christmas.
Okay.
And my drum set on top of it.
Carpet.
Of course, yes.
The rug, the
And
drum
then-
rug.
We have my actual guitar section with my amp, my guitar. I have a keyboard on the wall there, and there's another main there.
Okay.
So we have a full kind of stage setup without any lights or anything.
Man, that's awesome. So it's a
Yeah.
great practice area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what the best part is, though? I can have a party and just bring Jasmine and whoever else. We can jam there, and there's a couch right in front of there, so we can have
All
a
right,
little
so
audience.
I can invite all the thousands of listeners we have. We're gonna have a party at your house. Is that what
Yes.
I'm hearing?
Maybe 10. Maybe 10.
Oh, Ted.
No.
Okay, my yard can hold that many people, so we'll do it at my house.
We'll have to run a contest and only select 10 listeners to come to your your
Yeah.
house.
The 10 best listeners.
Right. Our 10 best fans. So I think this is a good time to take a minute and watch the video you guys submitted, and then we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
You were nice to me, but I see you were just acting. Now I feel like I don't know who you are. You used to bring me pleasure, but I go through drastic measures just to be considered unequal to you. Yeah, I still say rent me. You've got a friend in me. We can't stand each other, but we can't leave. No, we love one another as an enemy. Oh, friend of me. You've got a friend of me, an enemy. Thought I was a nuisance, 'cause I always took the spotlight when you always used to be number one.
Hi, this is Ben from 561 Music. We are a local music podcast that is completely designed to promote and shed light on local music. And if you would like to be a part of that, we're looking for sponsors. So you could have your ads in the episode and in all the show notes, and we will read you bespoke ads, or you can write your own ads yourselves. If you want to find us, you can find us at 561 Music Podcast on the socials, or www.561music.com. We'd love it if you got in touch. Thanks a lot. We are also sponsored by Oasis Root. Now, Oasis Root Kava Bar is in Sea Grape Square on Indiantown Rd, and it is a kava bar. If you don't know anything about kava, it's a Polynesian root that you grind up and you mix with water, and it has been in Polynesia for potentially thousands of years. It's an old thing that they used for kind of ceremonial and also sort of leisure purposes. It's meant to be something where, that brings people together. You all take a shell of kava and chink them together and say bula and have it together like that. It's meant to be something to bring people together. It's has a kind of an effect, which is, I guess, a kind of a slightly warming effect. It just kind of makes you feel nice. It's not particularly intoxicating. It's not like drinking alcohol. So the atmosphere in a kava bar is sort of like a cross between a regular bar and a coffee house. It's pretty chill in there. You get all sorts of different types of Kava bars. Some of them are more like a club, you know, there's sort of like black light and EDM playing. And some of them are more like a cafe. This is one of the cafe type of ones. It's super chill in there. If you're looking for somewhere to, I don't know, maybe go and do some work on your laptop or go and have a chat with friends, it's perfect for that kind of thing. There's a foosball table in there if that's your jam, or baby-foot as they call it in France. And yeah, Jim, the owner, is a really cool guy, and he has very kindly sponsored our podcast. So thank you very, very much for that, Jim. They also do a poker night in there, all sorts of things going on at Oasis Route Kava Bar. 561 Music is sponsored by Live Music Community. It's where we film the podcast that you're listening to right now, and it's also where I work. Gavin, Hector's son, was a student here for a long time, and in many ways he's the musician he is today because of the teachers at Live Music Community. We taught him not only about his instrument, but also about being in a band, and his band, Unemployed Youth, accomplished a lot of goals, mostly band etiquette, how to work together, and all of the nitty-gritty that goes into being in a band on a day-to-day basis. The student signs up for lessons, learns their instrument, joins a real band, and decides the direction it goes in. And we can take people from very young age, 6 or 7 years old, all the way up to 80. There's no age limit here. We run an adult program for people who want to be in a band as adults, but really the main focus is on the kids and getting them playing together and in bands. We are also a studio, a live stream venue, and we can record audio or video. The Killbillies live album, Warts and All, was recorded here. It was recorded during a live stream that we did during COVID. Justin had a great idea to record live streams during COVID. A ton of bands came in, and it was a real success. But outside of that, we can record albums, we can help you with your EPK, and we have full audio-visual capabilities here. LMC is in Palm Beach Gardens on the northwest corner of Military Trail and North Lake Boulevard. It's north of the gas station, right before you get to North Lake on Military Trail. And if you go to livemusiccommunity.com, you have all the information you'll need right there. Thanks.
All right, so we just heard an ad for Live Music Community, which is where we are sitting right now recording. It's Justin and Yaz and Ben and Rocky and all those guys work. So why don't you guys give me a little bit of advice that you might give a young and upcoming musician, seeing as you guys are young musicians yourselves?
Okay, I think the biggest thing is, I know for especially musicians, what a lot of music schools will do is get you to try different instruments. But if you're feeling passionate towards one instrument but you're focusing on another, just finish what you're doing and then you can move on. Because if you finish what you're doing and then you don't like it and you want to try something different, that's good. But if you kind of finish things halfway, you never really get a good idea of the instrument or anything.
Yeah, that's some good advice.
Yes.
What about you, Jaden?
So for me, of course I agree with you. That's great advice.
Thank you.
Let's see. I had something in my head, and then I just paid attention to you.
She stole your thunder, man.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
It's okay to say she took my answer.
No, that's not the case. Of course, just never give up, as a lot of people say.
Yeah.
And if you do, because how my story went, I couldn't do the guitar. It was too hard for my little hand. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, at the time, you can always try it again to make sure, It's always good to have a double check.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's good. Good advice. Good advice.
Yeah.
So we just had the pleasure of watching a short clip from a video from one of your songs, "Frenemy." It was just kind of a teaser because the song is not released yet. So tell me a little bit about the song, the inspiration behind the song, maybe, or anything like that.
Okay, so when it comes to writing songs, most of my songs are inspiration based, so something I've read or something that's happened. And this song was about really it was about my 7th grade experience.
Okay.
And there was this one person, we're not gonna give gender or anything, but there was this one person that would tease me for certain things, and I never was too bothered by it, but it definitely made me like reflect on myself. And even though the song really actually has nothing like to do with any of the events that happened between me and this person, it was based off of that.
Gotcha.
And-
So life experience.
Yeah, and it was kind of like the whole like chorus, like friend of me, you've got a friend in me. It was kind of like we were in the same major, so I had like 5 classes with this person.
Okay.
And so it was like I couldn't just walk away from them. So, and a lot of my friends were friends with her friends.
Gotcha.
So it was really hard to like kind of like not.
No, I get that.
But at the end of the year, we got to like saying hi in the hallways with that good old side eye. So it's always like, hi, Jasmine.
Nice. That's kind of how I greet Ben and Justin and all those guys. So that was a teaser, and that's because the song's not released yet, as I mentioned. So do you guys have an idea, ballpark idea of when you are targeting or trying to release it by?
Well, I know for a fact that I definitely want it before my birthday, and my birthday is September 22nd.
Okay.
So, like, late August or early September. I hope that it will be released by late August or
Okay,
early September.
and I assume it'll be released on all the usual Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff, streaming services?
Yes.
Awesome.
And I actually, it's going to be released as a single, and then probably on a later date with other songs as an EP.
Okay.
But I already made like the album cover, and I actually think like the cover that I drew for it is actually in the video that was watched.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Awesome.
it's really fun.
Yeah, awesome. And you guys have a couple more songs in various production stages, I believe, right? You have one that's almost done, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you have left on it? Some vocals or?
It's just adding the vocals, and like I think I'm going to redo them again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's fair. You're allowed to do that.
Pretty sure we're calling it Nameless, right?
No. I'm okay. I have to say, I know a lot of people who have listened to the song and listened to the lyrics are like, Nameless fits. It was a default name because I didn't know what to call it. But I'm starting to I know this is like really, it's giving Megadeth Mechanics vibes, but like more leaning towards more robotics because it's technically about cyborgs. So come on now, like it's the perfect name.
Just a little bit.
I like that. Cyborgs. I like cyborgs. I had a friend that was a cyborg. No, I didn't. All right. So this is the part of the podcast where I get up and do a silly dance. No, this is the part of the podcast where we put some photos up on the screen of your gear. Except you guys submitted a few photos, and I told Justin, surprise me. So we're going to play gear roulette and see what comes up first. And that's your cue, Justin. Thank you.
No! Damn it. All right.
So this is apparently Jaden's board. So why don't you walk us through this, what you got on there and why you got it on there and what you like about it and what you don't like about it. And then I'll listen intently because I'm in the pedal purchasing mode right now. So there might be
cool.
something that I like.
Yeah. So, one thing I just want to say before we get into the pedals, the order matters. They're not just there. And I recently learned that, like, months ago.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
recently,
It's
right?
okay. We all had to learn that. I had to learn that.
I'll tell you what, I am extremely much older than you, and I just learned that about 3 weeks ago. So,
Really?
yep.
Wow.
I as a bass player, I've always just enjoyed a clean sound and whatever I can get out of the amp. I've really never used pedals. I just recently started using pedals, and I started putting together a pedal board, and I picked up a couple of different pedals. I think I got an envelope filter recently. I got a
Cool.
booster, and so I found out the hard way that the order actually matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's huge. That's important. There's a whole science behind it. I don't even pretend to even know why.
I just pretend like I know what I'm talking about when I say it.
I just ask Ben. I just say what should be first, and then he tells me. So
That one.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're going to start in order from first to last.
Which one's first?
Okay. First is, okay.
start on the right,
last,
correct?
Huh?
Start on the right.
No, you start on the left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, okay, so technically, if you're seeing the photo, I'd plug into the pedal on the top right. That's my tuner pedal.
Okay.
And it goes into the wah pedal.
Gotcha.
And then it'll go out through the amp. So we're going to start with the booster that is not connected to anything.
Okay.
Because for that to work properly, you have to put it through a thing behind the amp. And it's technically just one button. I have the knob all the way up, so it boosts it.
You use that for like your solos and stuff like that? Just
Yeah.
boost the signal?
I rarely use it, though. I haven't used it. I think it's coming off.
Okay.
Feels a space, though. So.
I literally
Literally me.
yeah.
just bought a booster because with the upright bass, it has that real, boomy bottom end.
Yeah.
And then so when I boost it, when there's a line that I got to play or something and I need it to really just stick out, not a solo per se, but something that I needed to stick out, I want to do, I want to boost it. So I just bought a clean booster.
Cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
So the next one on the list is that digital delay, the silver one.
I have the same one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna... Let's see what you come up for that. So, I don't have the level all the way up, so it kind of just fades away.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of different because the last knob on there, if I put it like on any of the 3 settings, it's not delay. It's like so quick, it sounds like a reverb.
Okay.
But I don't use
little
that.
slap back.
Yeah.
Nice.
The one next to that is my reverb.
Okay.
And I'm kind of still learning how to use that a little bit. But with this one, it's kind of new to me because there's a little lever on there that chooses to put in a tiny bit of delay to make it like bigger sounding.
Okay.
And depending on the song, I could have it up or down. The next one is my overdrive pedal for distortion. So it's not clean when I'm playing Master of Puppets.
Nor should it be.
Yeah. The phaser, I usually keep very low. So it's like an ocean sounding. And it's not like...
Yeah.
like a fan.
Do you keep that on like a lot of the time or just kick it on here and there?
I don't keep it for like solos. It kind of just has to be there. Sometimes I use it instead of a wah pedal.
Okay.
So I can stand in the front of the stage and not in the corner.
And showboat.
Yeah.
And then you got, looks like a chorus pedal there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The chorus pedal I use for my clean tones to give it so it's not like dry.
Yeah.
And after that is my wah pedal that I rarely use.
And now, if you turn them all on at the same time, do they start smoking?
Rarely.
No. I can make them smoke. I've tried that before at my house.
What?
Well,
You
well,
breaking your pedals?
don't burn your house down.
No, I just have a little smoke machine called
yeah.
a micro fogger. Nailed it.
Words.
Nice.
And the last pedal that I plug into is my tuner. No
Okay.
settings.
Yay!
Just an on and off button.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what's next here in Gear Roulette.
Yeah! How did I know?
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
expect that.
Okay, so there is a missing pedal. My chorus pedal, it's green and it ran away. I couldn't find it. Take this picture.
Why do things keep running away from
I
you?
know, they all go away. I don't know where any of my stuff is. Anyways, but I never use my chorus pedal. And so, I used it for a portion of time, but I don't really use it anymore. Same with my delay pedal because it's not plugged in.
Okay.
But it's the same one Jaden has, but I really don't use that one either.
Yeah.
But the top 4 are probably my main 4. That one in the one right next to the wah pedal, that's not the tuner. I never use, but I think it's compression pedal. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's what
Yep.
it is. You can tell I really don't use it because I don't really know what it is. I don't know how to use it very well.
You push the button.
Wow, that's a shocker. No, just setting it and stuff. It's definitely really hard for me
Compression's a tricky thing, but once you get the hang of it,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
love that pedal. I promise you
I
that.
took that off my board.
I know. I'm about to like throw it away. It just looks cool there, you know.
It
And then
looks
what's
cool.
what's the other one next to that?
Okay,
then?
so the one right next to it, I think it's called the dark glass pedal, but it's basically just my fancy way of saying it's distortion for my bass.
Gotcha.
I actually really do love that pedal. I swapped my Morley wah pedal, that was a fuzz and wah, for that distortion pedal and my new wah pedal. And I like my wah pedal as well because I do not have to click a button on and off for it. I can just put my foot there.
Yep.
It's so much easier.
Nice.
And then my lovely tuner pedal.
Nice.
We have the same one too.
Simplicity. I like
It's
it.
actually very precise.
Yes.
So they're not different.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have the same tuner pedal for that.
Nice simplicity. I like it. All right, Justin. Let's go with the next image.
It's me again?
Oh
man.
man.
Okay.
I'm seeing a
I have
nice
my-
stack of
I have my
speakers
amp.
there.
Okay, this is
Nice.
probably my favorite amp, but what you can't see in this picture is that right next to it is my other bass amp.
Is it bigger than that one? 'Cause that's a pretty big
it's
bass
like
amp.
It's like the same size. It's a little taller because it's like a whole speaker, and then on the other side of that bass amp is my subwoofer. So
Nice.
it's all the bass stuff in one side of the room.
Is this your main bass that you
This
play?
is my main. Actually, correction. This is not my main bass that I play. I
Okay.
usually play my 4-string, but it's the same brand. It's the same
Sure.
model. It just has 4 strings instead of 5. This is my 5-string
Okay.
that I have been gravitating to more recently. Definitely one of my favorite instruments, though. I do. Once I pick my basses, I like latch onto them for like a good 3 years.
That's me.
And then it's like I have to move on. But I do love this bass, and definitely been gravitating towards it more.
That's me. I have a ton of basses, and it's because I'll get a bass and I'll play it for like a really long time, and then I'll find another bass, and then that becomes my new favorite bass, and I'll
Yep.
play that for a really long time. But I can't get rid of the old one because it's
Nope,
just
memories.
there. Yeah, it's just there. So
I know for this one, I got my 4-string first, and I had 2 5-strings before I got this brand, and they were Jacksons, and I think we gave away both of them finally, but I hadn't really latched onto the whole 5-string thing yet, but once I got my 4-string, that's the same brand, I was starting to realize that I needed a 5-string to make things easier for myself.
Sure.
And as soon as I got a 5-string to make things easier for songs that could use a 4-string, I started gravitating towards 5-string songs, and it's so much fun. It's just
That's
like
fair.
it's like that E string, the
Yeah,
low, and
yeah.
then you hit the B string, and it's like yeah.
it's got a nice fat sound to it. I was playing 5-string for a while, and then I was in a Nirvana tribute band with Justin, and for authenticity's sake, I picked up a few basses that were all 4-string because that's what he played, and now I'm finding it hard to get back into my 5-string. Like I'm really enjoying playing the 4-string now. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sometimes is easier.
It's an acquired taste for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, I think we got one more photo, right?
I wonder
This
who
gonna
it
be
is.
Jaden.
Yeah,
You're up,
mine,
buddy.
Mine doesn't have an amp. Mine
Does yours
is
have
wireless.
five strings also?
Huh?
Does yours have 5 strings also?
No, mine is one up. I had 6 strings.
All right.
Hi.
So this is a Dean guitar with a whammy, and none of my other guitars have a whammy bar. And it's kind of like really hard to find whammy bar guitars because most of them are Floyd Roses, and I hate them because you can't tune them. You have to
Yeah.
mess with the springs in the back,
My
and
guitars.
it's terrible.
My
Pretty
guitars.
sweet looking
Hate-
guitar though, man. I like that with the white flames on stuff on it. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's my best guitar besides the tuning. Can I mention my amp too?
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
it's not in the picture. My favorite amp is the Katana, the little one I use at my house.
Yeah.
But at the shows I would use the the EVH amp. And I recently got into Doug's amp, the custom, which was my guitar teacher's.
Okay.
And it's my best one. And I always use it.
Nice.
Love it.
Nice.
Best thing ever. It's got balls. It really does. That's the gain. That's what it says on the gain knob. And there's a little button next to it that says more balls. And let me tell you, I have it on.
The button actually says that?
Yes.
It does. The button says that. It was a joke for a minute.
That's pretty funny. I need one of those. That's pretty funny.
Okay, custom.
So you have some news reporter sheets in front of you, and I believe that is your upcoming gigs and shows and things like that. So why don't you run us down some of that stuff?
I've got you. This is like the communications in me.
There you go.
But seriously. So we have, for September, we have 4 shows, and we have September 2nd, which is our Matthews gig. And it's with the 46 and Tool and Nothing's Shocking. I don't think we've actually played with them yet.
No, I don't recognize
think so.
that.
I know I think I've seen the Tool cover band.
They're really good. I've seen them, yeah.
I think
I've seen him. Front row seats. Right on the staircase next to the stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The next show is a little bit bigger. It's in Clearwater, so
Okay.
not here. And that's on September 9th. It's at OCC Roadhouse, and it's with the AC/DC tribute band Noise Pollution, and I'm pretty sure they're from California.
Oh, nice.
So
wow.
Yeah, that's
they're coming from a long way. I guess it's supposed to be a pretty good crowd, so that's fun. Great opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's for the guy who gets all the bands. I think he goes by Beanie Guy because he always wears beanie. But it's his birthday bash. So September babies.
All right.
And
So that's
then-
probably going to be a pretty good sized gig then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the day after my birthday, September 23rd, we have a show at Prosperity Breweries in Boca with The Shake.
Nice. Shout out to
Yeah.
Ricky and the guys.
Yeah. I may or may not play violin. I don't know yet. Maybe I'll forget it at home. Maybe I'll bring it. Who knows?
Have you been playing violin with them?
I have, because I recorded something with them.
Oh, that's right. Ricky was telling me about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, awesome.
And now they want me to play it every time I come.
You should. You should. If you're on the album, you should.
It's definitely going to be a different experience because I'm so used to playing in really big groups, thinking as my school's largest orchestra has
Sure.
90 plus members.
Sure. But when you're out there and you're singing and you're playing your bass, though, I mean, you're fully exposed out there, without a huge orchestra around
But
you.
it's
So it's
different.
Nah,
It's bass.
it's not different. It's the same.
so
It's the same thing. You could do it. It's the same thing. And then what's your next gig after that?
The 24th, the day after.
Okay.
And it's at Cagney's with Whiplash. So his
Yeah.
guitar teachers
Nice.
and
Nice.
my guitar teacher. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And it's tribute to early Metallica. So
Awesome. Well, as far as we usually do a little shameless plug for Killbillies at this point, and Killbillies this weekend are playing at. I have to check my calendar here. Maxie's lineup on Friday, so that's kind of fun. That'll be in Jupiter, and I think that's all we have this weekend. I don't think Ben has a solo or anything, because I'm not going to be here next week. I'm going to Columbia.
Oh, nice.
wow.
But yeah, it's for crazy art reasons, but it has been an absolute pleasure having you guys on here. It was fun. We usually have older musicians on here, and they're just boring. And, no, you guys have been really fun though. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I enjoyed finding out a little bit more about you guys and how you guys got started and everything. So hopefully you guys had a good time too.
Yeah,
and
I loved it.
appreciate you guys coming out. All
Thank
right?
you for having us.
Yeah,
I feel
thank
like I
you.
keep smiling. My face is going to hurt.
You have to keep smiling. It's part of the podcast etiquette.
Smile for the camera.
All right, peace out, guys.